This is the moment where an ordinary morning in the ocean turned into a scene straight out of an action thriller. But this isn't fiction. Every second of what you're about to hear is real. Imagine a US Navy helicopter slicing through the sky, engines roaring, weapons primed, locking onto a high-speed drug smuggling boat that is tearing through the waves at over 50 miles per hour. The story behind this event is astonishing, filled with danger, precision, and months of painstaking intelligence work that finally culminated in one of the most audacious drug interdictions in American history. Over 2 tons of pure cocaine, worth over $100 million on the street, were on that boat, destined to flood American cities. But thanks to the combined efforts of the FBI, US Navy, and Coast Guard, that never happened. 6 months before the helicopter first fired, FBI agents in Miami had been tracking one of the most dangerous criminal organizations in the Western Hemisphere, Los Sinaloa, a cartel notorious for supplying cocaine, heroin, and fentanyl to American streets. Through months of wiretaps, informants, undercover operations, and meticulous surveillance, investigators began to piece together an operation that would redefine maritime interdiction. They discovered that the cartel wasn't just using the southern border anymore. They had shifted entirely to the sea. The smugglers had developed high-performance go-fast boats, essentially speedboats on steroids, designed to evade detection and outrun law enforcement. Each vessel could carry over 4,000 pounds of cocaine, stripped to minimal weight, no registration, no lights, and virtually invisible to radar. Twin outboard engines roared with enough power to cut through the waves at breakneck speeds. These boats were built with one purpose only: to slip through the grasp of the law. The FBI knew the stakes. If even one of these shipments reached the United States, it would vanish into the streets within hours, fueling addiction, overdose, and crime, while the cartel amassed millions. But the agents held a crucial advantage. They knew the route, the timing, and they knew that success required coordination beyond their own capabilities. Within hours, the FBI contacted the U.S. Coast Guard and Navy, sharing intelligence and mobilizing assets for a joint task force. The operation was officially named Operation Ocean Strike. Its mission: intercept the smugglers in international waters before they reached American shores. By the time the operation was in motion, the cartel had already launched a go-fast boat off the coast of Colombia. The chase had begun. 200 miles off Central America, the USS Winston, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, cut through the waves. 450 feet of American steel bristling with advanced radar systems, it housed a specialized Coast Guard law enforcement detachment trained for high-risk maritime interdictions. Here, the Navy's firepower and platform merged with the Coast Guard's legal authority, the only entity able to stop, board, and arrest suspects in international waters. Converging from the east, a Coast Guard fast response cutter, smaller, faster, and more agile, streaked toward the target. Tactical boarding teams were ready for hostile vessel seizures, their training sharpening every nerve for the high-stakes engagement ahead. Locating a small boat moving at 50 miles per hour in thousands of square miles of ocean might sound impossible, but the Navy had an ace in the sky: a P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft. This flying command center, converted from a Boeing 737, could skin thousands of square miles with synthetic aperture radar, staying aloft for hours. That morning, it spotted something small, fast, and unregistered, an anomaly moving along a known drug trafficking route. Target acquired. Poseidon 3 reported contact, bearing 270, range 15 miles, speed 50 knots, perfectly matching the intelligence profile. The destroyer and cutter adjusted course, closing in as the tactical center verified the target. The smugglers were oblivious. They thought they were alone, just another boat cutting through the endless horizon. They had no idea that a 1,000-ton warship, bristling with radar and artillery, was bearing down, and that a helicopter above them was preparing to become their worst nightmare. As the dawn sun crested over the waves, Coast Guard lookouts spotted the target, a small white speedboat with twin engines, no flag, nothing to identify it. Orders were broadcast: stop your engines and prepare to be boarded. No response. In an instant, the smugglers made their choice. Engines screamed, water exploded from the stern, and the boat surged forward, bouncing over waves at full throttle, desperate to escape. The Coast Guard cutter launched its over-the-horizon interceptor, a 26-foot pursuit craft, carrying a tactical team with weapons ready. The chase was on, open ocean, hundreds of miles from any support, every second pushing the limits of skill and endurance. The smugglers zigzagged violently, trying to shake off their pursuers, but the Coast Guard held firm, relentless, precise. From the deck of the Winston, an H-60 Seahawk helicopter streaked low, closing the distance in minutes, bringing overwhelming force to bear. The smugglers finally realized they could not escape. Panic overtook them. They began dumping bales of cocaine overboard, tens of millions of dollars in evidence disappearing into the sea. Still, they refused to stop. Inside the helicopter, a Hitran helicopter interdiction tactical squadron team readied themselves. Precision marksmen trained for exactly this scenario, their mission to disable the engines, not harm the crew. Closing to within 50 yards, rifles trained, they waited for the perfect moment. The order came. Controlled bursts. Precision shots. Metal shredded, smoke erupted, one engine exploded, the second seized, propeller grinding to a halt. The go-fast boat lurched violently, then went dead in the water. Chase over, just 1,300 meters from shore. Two smugglers, nowhere to run, trapped by the coordination of hundreds of professionals operating with surgical precision. The haul, 4,475 pounds to 0.3 tons of pure cocaine. Wholesale value over $100 million, street value triple that. Every brick photographed, cataloged, weighed, and logged in a chain of custody that would ensure prosecution. This seizure alone struck a devastating blow to the cartel's revenue, but the operation was bigger than money. The two smugglers were handed over to federal custody, facing sentences that could extend to life imprisonment. The go-fast boat, now riddled with bullet holes, engines destroyed, unregistered, and unlit, was declared a navigation hazard and intentionally sunk on sight, sliding beneath the waves as a symbol of law enforcement triumph. Returning to shore, the FBI and D prepared the next phase. Interrogations, phone extractions, tracing contacts. Operation Ocean Strike was never just about stopping to tons of cocaine, it was intelligence-driven strategy, each seizure revealing more pieces of the puzzle. Suppliers, arrangers, pickup points, delivery routes. Every arrest and confiscation weakened the network. Follow-up operations were launched, additional arrests made, safe houses raided, and the cartel forced to respond. The broader impact is staggering. Over 6 million individual doses of cocaine were prevented from reaching American streets, lives potentially saved from addiction and overdose. Each action demonstrated coordination, planning, and execution at a level rarely seen outside of Hollywood. But these were real people, real risks, real stakes. The operation proved the power of collaboration. FBI intelligence, Navy assets, Coast Guard authority, all aligned toward one goal. 3 agencies, flawless execution, sending a message to every cartel operating in the hemisphere. The United States will pursue you, stop you, even in the most remote waters hundreds of miles from shore. Modern counter-narcotics operations are dangerous, complex, and far from glamorous, but they work. Thousands of hours invested by hundreds of professionals culminated in a single decisive moment that changed the trajectory of criminal activity in the region. Stories like this must be told because they represent the reality of law enforcement, where intelligence, courage, and precision intersect to save lives and dismantle dangerous organizations. Operation Ocean Strike reminds us that every decision matters, every detail has consequences, and every mission carries the weight of countless unseen hours. Now, as you process this, ask yourself, how many lives were saved because of intelligence, coordination, and decisive action? How many overdoses were prevented? How many future operations will be informed by the lessons learned here? The Coast Guard, Navy, and FBI demonstrated that the system works, but resources and funding remain a question. Should agencies receive more support to continue operations of this scale, or should priorities shift elsewhere? The stakes are high, the ocean vast, and the criminals relentless. But one thing is certain. When law enforcement acts with precision, no matter the distance, no matter the risk, justice can catch up, and chaos can be controlled. This is the reality of modern maritime interdiction. It's a story of danger, strategy, and success. It's a story that proves the extraordinary can happen in the ordinary expanse of the open ocean. And if you made it this far, thank you for witnessing the behind-the-scenes efforts of professionals who never seek the spotlight, but whose work safeguards countless lives. Stay curious, stay informed, and remember, the ocean may seem endless, but justice has no boundaries.